trick that I'll share with you. I can choose a better way with every little thought I think. If I wake up with a bad attitude, I fill my mind with gratitude. I give thanks for everything with every little thought I think. I can choose to be happy, choose to be free, moment by moment. It's all up to me, 'cause what I think about, I bring about. That's the way it is, and there is no doubt. Day by day, I pave the way with every little thought I think.
Hello and welcome. I am so glad you're here. I'm Beth, a creator-based coach with CMH Coaching for Life. I'm here today to help you and those you love create a life you feel grounded and at home in. Think of a life where you feel peace, love for those around you, and in a flow with just enough challenge to keep you happy and creating something wonderful. Sounds like magic, but it's not. You can create that life every single day. You can have a life full of love, excitement, hope, and creation. Our mission at CMH Coaching is to flood the earth with light through compassion, mindfulness, and hope. And I'm going to ask a favor of you. If you like what you see and hear today, think of someone you know that would enjoy and benefit from this message. Our mission is to flood the world with compassion, mindfulness, and hope. Share this with them. But for now, this is time just for you. So settle into whatever you're doing and enjoy this time with the girls, where we create that one awesome, amazing, perfect life every one of us is seeking.
What you thinking? What you thinking? What you thinking? What you thinking? You gotta watch your thinking. Watch your thinking. Watch your thinking.
Welcome to a creator-based life, where we celebrate and rejoice in the glorious gift of this life and strive to help you celebrate and rejoice. I know, don't roll your eyes at me. The same way. It really can be done, and we really can be buoyant and happy in the middle of all of the stuff that's going on in our lives and around our lives. Now, I have a little confession to make. Last week, I said it was episode 139, and we were so excited about 140. But you know what? Last week was 140. Today, we are episode 141. Another example of why B- is good enough. We are still here. Yeah. And today, lest I be critical of myself for missing and having that wrong, we're going to be talking about the mean girl that lives in our head. I have a really active mean girl that lives in my head. And in this season, where we're making connections with lots of different people and a lot of people whom we might have history with and preconceived images and preconceived beliefs because of past experiences with those people, that can really turbocharge that mean girl that lives in my head. And I really don't want to stop going to family events or stop having those connections. So we've put together this series for everybody who feels like that, like I do sometimes, so that we can come up with these confident connections that we can make. We can be confident with ourselves. We can be confident with the people whom we're loving and visiting, even if we don't necessarily like them to begin with, or if because we have some kind of a weird history. Mm-hmm. So that's what we're working on today. But today we're going to be talking about the mean girl in your head. So my just have to tell you, my mean girl is acerbic. She is snarky. She has no connection with reality. Okay, so she's, as you would expect, an amazing storyteller, because I'm by nature a creative girl. But my mean girl, she could come up with a toenail that's flipped funny and turn me into some kind of a crazy villain with no worth at all. I mean, she's just really, really experienced, and she has a gift for language. We'll just say it that way. Do you have a mean girl in your head, JC? Does she live there at all? I wonder. You seem so cheerful and so together all the time.
There, At times, she doesn't come out very often, but it seems like it's the same.
Does
Um,
she have one story that she just plays over and over
yeah,
again?
yeah. And it's always related to my weight or how I look. That's always her attack mode. It's always one of those two things. Yeah. Yeah. And it's
Mine is usually about something I've said or interrupting, which is also something I've said. What about you, Jean? What about you, Jen?
Oh yeah, I have a very self-critical part, a mean girl, where she it's more self-judgment. It's more like more on just not enoughness for whatever reason, whether it is my look or whether it is my intellect or whether it's my not being enough for somebody, like showing up different. She's got a lot of little avenues she likes to like creep in and poke
Yours
me.
is clever. Yes, clever and a little sinister.
I got her number.
Good, good. Well, let's
good
pass that
because
mean girl.
sometimes she has my number,
Oh, I
right?
know. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but Jen, you've done enough work that you really do have her number,
yeah.
which I greatly admire. So I actually read this Monday morning inspiration this morning when I very first woke up. It's so much fun to write them and then schedule them and not think about them again and come back and go, oh, hey, that's cool. Oh, that's good. And go, wait, no, I wrote that. Okay. But when I got to the centered self part, because inside of me, I do have that mean girl, but I also have the part that's really me. I have the vital, purposeful, committed disciple of Jesus Christ. That's me. I have the compassionate, wise, smart, creative. That's me. And I remember, and this is what I thought of at 5:30 this morning as I'm reading this. Jen knows all the C's of the centered self. Can't remember myself to save my life, but can you tell us, like, kind of about the centered self? I know you know a lot about it. And feel free if you want to recite the C's and show off. I'm all in.
Well, I won't show off. No. The C's are just a guideline because I really believe sometimes the C's can have like if you're looking, at a C like courage, it can come off as different, brave, or there's different words that can describe this self, and I view self as just the same way that you just described it. It's just that higher, holier part of me that
Yeah.
is without judgment, that is compassionate, that is knowing, and she's just kind of like a really super cool part. It's like she's
Only she's me.
she is me, but she's in this space of craziness, in the sense of like on this earth to try and be that all the time, that higher self, that but also knowing that she's going to mess up, so she'll have compassion for herself. But I don't
Yeah.
know, she's got a lot of good qualities but a lot of areas for growth, let's put it that way.
Well, I love that my centered self is calm because, in large measure, I mean, you can ask the man that I live with, my husband, I'm not calm. That's not the other parts of me. But I really love calm, and I really love that she is courageous and that she is confident and that she is compassionate. Can you tell me what are the other C's?
There's like connectedness. There's curiosity. That's my big one. My center.
Oh, yeah. See, I always forget curiosity, and she is curious.
See,
Yeah.
curious leads to knowledge, to growth. So do you see how like these C's have this jumping off point?
Yeah.
Like, connectedness. I kind of see connectedness as like being connected in many different ways, like with like the other aspects of yourself that maybe need more love and help, but also being connected to your creator, also being connected to those who are important in your life. And
Yeah.
because connection is a big thing in our development as a human being. So
It's critical.
is critical. So she has like these. these just kind of like this powerhouse where when I am like not in that calm state or in that connected state or in that courage state, I can tap into that. And I can look to her as like the ultimate example. Let's see, what are some of the other ones? Clarity. She knows. She has
It's clear.
She's clear
Yeah.
with her purpose and her understanding of who she is. But she also brought out some other ones. They're called the P's.
Uh-huh.
P's, where there's perspective.
And that's one of my favorites is my centered self has this long perspective where the stuff that's happening right at this moment is not a big deal because she's got this long view. Yeah.
She has like a greater view. Some people call it an eternal view. Yeah,
Is purpose one of the P's?
No,
Okay.
it's persistence, patience, perspective, playfulness, and I've got one up here, presence.
Oh, presence. Of course, presence.
Yeah.
She is present.
But I mean, you can add more to these when you start to find out those qualities of yourself. And they're kind of like attributes and characteristics that you can look into those that you admire, or like, a lot in a spiritual walk will look to Christ and want to emulate his attributes and his characteristics. So I add some of those to my centered self. Like, what would she want to be? Long suffering, those type of things, but maybe that's
persistence. With patience.
Maybe that's presence. Who knows? So see how they cannot, they can all have all these different. So you make it yours, but yeah.
So that's our centered self. That's really where I'd love to live. But yet I have this mean girl who lives in my head. How did she get there? Because it's like she's always been there for as long as I can remember. Can you tell me?
I can tell you what I understand.
I'd love to hear what you understand.
And it's going to be very simple, and I'm sure somebody can add more to it. But this is what I understand how we got these critics. So, gosh, I got all this trying to like formulate it. As you are growing up, as you are a child, you live in a certain brainwave state called theta, and they usually say that this state usually happens to start to shift and change anywhere from like between 8 and maybe 12.
That is so cool. Can I just say something about that?
Yeah.
That I didn't realize that as little children we grew up in a theta state, but I could tell you to the day that my mind shifted, because I actually felt the magic, which is what theta is for me. It's living in that magic state, just disappeared. Yeah. It was like from one day to the next, my dolls were real and then they weren't.
Then I just didn't want them anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's when we shift.
That's when we shift and we start to have more of like the reasoning and the prefrontal cortex real. It's like, you start to like, your brain is developing differently. But in theta state, it's like it's just a download state. You take everything as a truth. You're highly suggestible. You believe everything. Yeah. And that's why you can make believe. I mean, like, you're just like, magical.
Because it's all real.
Yeah. It's all just real. And you learn faster, but what are you learning? Is it correct learning? Is it beneficial learning? That type of thing. So children
there's no filters.
Yeah. And so that's why it's so like, the more I learn about what happens to our brain and our children, I'm all like, oh my gosh, how did we all get out of childhood life?
Protect those little brains, right?
So then if I didn't have a filter, then when my dad said, quit your crying or I'll give you something to cry about, I took that as gospel truth.
Yeah. But you also probably started to like have other little inklings about what that actually meant. Okay. Because you're in theta, you're absorbing a lot, but it's not just verbal. It's also environmental cues, it's body cues, it's family dynamics, it's all of this stuff that's coming at you. So you're starting to
people relate.
Yeah, that maybe you can't put into words. So
Or the
maybe
way they
that could also mean, and you just have that one little instance, but as you start to have more and more of them, your brain starts to pull in the information. It's like
Mhm.
evidence seeking to create a belief or to create your truth.
I
Right.
could see evidence seeking that I would form kind of a premise,
Yeah.
then it would start watching for reasons that could be true.
Yeah. So possibly, I'm not saying this is what it is, but possibly one of the things that could come out of it, because there's a lot of things that probably came out of that that you're not aware of. But
Right.
one of the things that could have came out of it was like, it's not safe for me to be emotional.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
I
it's been
feel
years and
that's-
years and years I've been working because I cry by nature. I have the gift of weeping, but I never felt like it was okay.
Yeah, see, when it's like, it is okay. So it's like you form these beliefs, okay? And out of those beliefs comes that nagging voice that tells you you're doing it wrong. Or,
Right.
yes,
That's
or
the
that
mean
you're,
girl.
yeah, exactly. And sometimes, and I had to work on this too. So I was like, it's good. A lot of it's going to be your own voice, but sometimes it can be literally a mimic of somebody from your childhood, could a parent, a grandparent. Usually it's a caretaker or a
A big,
teacher or what?
a big sister.
A big
Right.
sister. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a it's
Don't
something
tell her I
that's
said that. That's right.
close to you. And so it's like a lot of times when I was going through this, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's my mom. That's my mom's voice. That's what
The
my dad.
voice, I can hear it. I can hear my mom's voice too.
And
Yeah.
so a lot of times just being able to identify the voice, who's speaking, where it came from, it gives you the baseline or the area to start working on changing that. I mean, understanding is a big thing. Awareness first, then understanding of where this came from, and then trying to change it. And we know that we can change our brains. It's neuroplasticity. We can change
Yeah.
those. Takes a little bit, but we can change it.
Yeah.
We can have a different story in our head about what's happening. About like, oh, why is this? Like one of the big ones for me, and this is why I think I could kind of identify with you a little bit, Beth, is it was not okay in my family to have any other emotion except for happiness.
That's right.
We could not be sad, we could not be mad, we had to be happy all the time. So to
Yeah.
me, all these other emotions were labeled as bad, and I was a bad person. I was wrong to have these. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh, that's just your experience.
And then you keep layering on that all the way through your lifetime. That's such a burden.
It is. And so do you kind of see why sometimes people are messed up?
Yeah. Because
Or
I'll bet people who are listening are feeling it and going, yeah, me too.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
But it's because we were a child, right? And that's how we assimilated
We
and
didn't know.
put that story. Yeah, we put that story together. And, it's the same thing, Beth. Like I remember my dad saying, stop crying. I never want to see you cry again. And for 40 years, I did not. I did
Yeah, but
not.
we cured
It's
you of
been,
that.
yeah,
yeah.
it's been a hard thing. But in that and getting curious, right? I think it's really important instead of villainizing my dad and saying,
Oh
"Oh my
no.
gosh,
My parents are amazing.
what a terrible parent he was, and he did this to me and he did that to me," is being able to get curious with it and say, "Okay, well, how old was I when this happened?" Right? You guys have helped like coach through that, right? How old was I? Oh, well, that makes sense. And it's this little girl who is, still living in that area saying, no, you're crying, stop. You're not supposed to do that. Right.
Yeah.
So it's really an interesting thing to put together. Yeah, we have those mean girls, and where did they start? And then how do we stay not a victim and don't turn into a persecutor or a rescuer, but how do we stay in that creator? How do we go
In our
move to
creator
that
space.
creator? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you do,
Well,
JC? What do you do to stay in the creator space?
Well, it's
You're good at it. That's why I asked.
it's just you recognize where you are, right?
Uh-huh.
And I've learned so much from you guys is just okay, oh wait. I recognize that thought.
Yeah.
Hold on.
yeah. I would
Yes.
And
You're
say
you're
familiar.
curious.
I would say,
And it's not helpful, right? Is it helpful? Is it kind? Is
Kind
it?
isn't true.
Yeah, I go through those on the regular.
I would say that identifying it, because this is another thing to add to those, like, what would that higher self do to that mean voice in the head? So I call it just, I don't, my critic doesn't like to be called a mean girl. She wants compassion because she's been hurt at some point. That's where that is coming
Need to
from.
protect you then.
There's been a hurt, there's been a wound. And I mean, what child doesn't lash out when that happens?
True.
And so I like to just say, okay, this is the thought, this is what I'm identifying. And I mean, if you want a little exercise, is write it down and then just try to envision, if you have a picture of you at that age, look at that picture. Or and look at that little girl and go, oh my gosh, that little girl needs so much. What does that little girl need right now? She needs love. She needs understanding. What can I say? Like, even put myself in that situation. Could I stand between her and the parent and just stick up for her and just say, that's not nice,
That's
and
not
like,
helpful.
exactly. And
Right
I'm not gonna let you say that to her. In fact, let's say this to her. It's like, that little wounded part of you needs a hero, needs a parent that or a loving individual will come in and help her out.
So are you saying that I could be the loving
You
individual?
are not you can. You are.
That's
You
amazing.
are the person. You are the well. I mean, if you are the one that you've been looking for, you are the one that's
Well, and that's my background on my iPad right now. I'm so grateful to be the person that I needed when I was a child.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
And so take that literal, and like when you start having those mean girl thoughts, write them down and just kind of like just imagine in your head,
Uh-huh.
what does she need right now? Because I mean, man, I have some snarky teenagers who are really mad. And so I have to go in there and just work with them. And yeah. So it's just
That.
it's
You,
fun.
you guys have seen mine.
I know.
You love yours.
You
That
love
girl
yours.
is powerful.
I've seen all of yours, and at times you have seen mine too. So it's like,
Yes.
yes.
They're great. They are great.
There's just areas of growth, and yeah. So that's how I would say work with them. But just that's my understanding of how we got these negative words in our head. And it comes from many, many resources. I mean, think about what has been in the media towards women. We're supposed to look a certain way,
For
act a
so
certain
long.
way.
Oh yeah.
So that's why, I mean, of course, we
Guys.
all have self-image issues.
Oh yeah.
Especially then also if it comes from your home too, like because your mother and your sisters, there's so much of that not enoughness. I'm not
Right.
skinny enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not beautiful enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm not short enough. Whatever. You're not enough. I don't have the right clothes. That's not having enough. I don't. Those type of things. So you get it from so many. You're bombarded by it. So I would say to combat this, what are you telling yourself? Be the nice girl to that mean girl. Be the nice. I mean, like, honestly, would you say those things to one of your dearest friends?
Never. I think about you guys and I'm like, I would never even
Never say that to Beth. She'd come out fighting.
Well, yeah, I'd stay out of her way. She'd be swinging. But yeah, no, I wouldn't. I would never talk to another human being that way.
So why are you talking to yourself that way?
Right.
Why are you listening to that voice?
Well, and I love the idea that I can stand up as the hero in the middle.
Yeah.
So how could we apply this? Okay, so next week is Thanksgiving. And I'll bet you there's more than one person listening today who might have feelings about a gathering at Thanksgiving. Some kind of maybe semi-intense to intense feelings, maybe nerves or dread, or maybe expectations. How do we use this? What could we do to make Thanksgiving a more peaceful day, a more helpful kind?
I've actually had to go into situations like that. Pretty
Good. Okay, so tell us personal experience. What do you do?
situations. I've been in just really kind of saying, okay, you know what? It's a game. I'm gonna see how these people show up and I'm gonna try and get their number. It's like because I want to know how they affect me. Not like in the sense
Yeah.
of, so I can then understand how to help me. Like what, and some of the, I had already outlined a lot of like the things that I said to myself, and I sat and I listened and I watched, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is a family pattern. This
Mm,
is among all of us. Or like, oh no,
You
that
did
was
learning. You went in to learn then.
curiosity.
Curiosity, the curious
I
self.
went in, and granted, there were times I stepped out of it, but I mean, like, be human,
Sure, you're human. You have permission.
But I went in there with that, and it helped me to put space, emotional space, between when people are trying to activate me or trigger me. And because you are the one that's in control of that.
yeah.
If you
Yes.
understand that that's where you're seeing it coming from, you can say, oh, interesting. Normally that would get this reaction from me and I'd have that thought. So what is with what they said to me triggering that mean girl, if you want to say, the critic in my head?
What's triggering the critic?
What did they say? And so you can pick up on different patterns and ways to work with it. But that's really the only way that I can manage being around my family, either that or be on Xanax, because it's,
Yeah, yeah. But
it's,
the curiosity that's a really, really good tip
yeah,
to go in kind of as a scientific approach of
and a lot of prayer. A
and
lot
a
of,
lot of prayer.
Oh,
Yeah, that's been my key in because I don't necessarily have people in my circle that get my critic up in that way where they trigger me. But I do have lots of old beliefs that would be not good enough beliefs.
yeah, yeah,
Oh, the stuffing's too wet, or the table setting's not right, and the
mm,
try to get everything just perfect. Or this is my nemesis right here. Everybody has to be happy.
oh yes, yes, yes. Why is that your
mm,
job?
If they're not happy, then I failed in some way.
Yeah,
And so getting curious about that is a really powerful practice
yeah.
because you know what? Ain't nobody going to be able to make some people happy. You can't
No,
make,
exactly.
they get to choose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
What about you, JC?
it's interesting when you show up that way.
Huh?
You show up in that state of calm and in
mm.
that state of like empowerment and courage, and it's almost like sometimes they don't even like pester you because they're like they can't.
Right. It's almost like a blanket of protection.
Well, I think it's
Like the fall.
authenticity, really. You're showing up very authentic.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
humor. There really should be humor in the centered self because so many things are funny when you step in that way.
Yeah.
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 Okay, Jason, what about you? What do you
Well,
do?
I was just thinking of a challenging situation, and that's, you know, what if you're the person that's being viewed as the villain, or the person that um
Problem.
is the problem, or and you are authentically yourself, and you don't mean to say things that would, but what if you have people that choose to take things wrong, and they
Yeah.
choose to blow them up as a story, and you don't have the y- you don't there's never intention to hurt, but they
No,
just
you
take
can't control
things
what
wrong.
you can't control what they choose to do.
And I
Mm,
think that's like the wonderful practice that Mel Robbins has shown us. Sometimes you just have to let them be that way, because then
mhm.
Yeah.
that lets you show up differently. It's
Yeah.
like
Let
saying,
them, let God, let me.
yeah. And I mean, because I was in that too. I'm all like, I had people in my family trying to, you're the villain, you're the problem, you're horrible, and all this stuff and everything.
Yes.
And you want to speak to that truth and you want to correct them and everything, but it doesn't help. It just creates
Uh,
more and more and more, because they want that. They want the
they
conflict.
want that story.
So I don't know. Sometimes JC and I just had to like just let it be and just not go to certain functions
Yeah.
because of that.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to ostracize them either, but if they
No.
choose to come, it's, um, it can be challenging in that sense too. So I love that. Let them, let God, let me, and then just go in with that sense of love. I mean, that's really what keeps coming to my mind is how do I fight that? How do I counteract that? And the only way is with love. And if they choose to look at that love as something evil or controlling or
Mhm.
whatever they choose, right? Then I have to let them. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's that's the only counteract I
Well,
can
and
see.
for me, the real power comes in living the 5 principles of the creator-based way. Saying, "Oh, look, I'm making a thumb."
You
That's the
did. You're
first
like,
one.
yes.
Yeah, the first one. I am the creator of my life experience. So, like you said, Jacine, you don't go in as a victim. You go
Mhm.
in with your creator as a junior apprentice creator, right? And then the second one, and I love the second one so much. I have within me light and truth, all the power I need to grow and progress. And that brings Jen's curiosity. I'm going to grow. I'm going to progress through this experience. I'm choosing to come in light and in power.
Mhm.
And then the third one, faith, compassion, mindfulness, and hope. That's how we create happiness, right? The fourth one, though, is my very favorite. And this is the one that helps me the most in going into a situation like that. We are different by divine design.
And that's great. Yeah.
It's all good. And it goes right into the let them. And I
Mhm.
can be entertained and I can be amused and I can be compassionate as I watch you. I just let you be different by divine design. And I can love you for who you are right here. And then the
Mhm.
last one, on especially difficult days, change is a gift. This moment will not last. If it's a hard moment, it's going to pass. If it's a good moment, it's going to pass. So let's appreciate it for what it is and move it forward. Those five principles, they'll just help you work through just about anything as a
And
creator.
it's hard sometimes to be in these places and be in discomfort, but
It is so uncomfortable. Yeah.
that just may have to be, if you want to be a part of that group, be connected with that family, you may have to just have some discomfort.
Yeah.
But I've also learned it's like to that curiosity of just like try and figure out what is their story, what are they acting out of, and it's interesting when you figure it out because then you can, it's just information on how then are you going to react.
Well, and I think you change when you like what would Viktor Frankl, right? Suffering ceases to be suffering when you understand the meaning behind it. When
Mhm.
you understand the meaning, it really does shift the way you see a relationship, what's behind it. Yeah.
Mhm.
But that also doesn't mean that you have to put yourself in a situation that you could be really hurt
Hurt.
physically and
Yeah.
emotionally. I mean, like
No.
you
No.
you do have to, you can stand up for yourself.
Self-care.
Yeah. So
Yep.
maybe just learn how to do it without causing rifts or whatever, because there are some ways to say when somebody has a comment at you, just to say, let me understand that because I didn't mean to be this way, or like maybe
Yeah.
you're misunderstanding. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it to come across that way. It's like there's some
Yeah.
ways you can take the fuel out of it,
Yeah.
Right.
and
Do
just
I understand correctly
yeah, or like
that I hurt your feelings and I'm really
yeah,
sorry
I,
for
I
that?
I
Yeah.
didn't understand that. Can you repeat that? Because a lot of times if they're saying something, it's a pot shot. And maybe
Yeah.
you want to repeat it, but if you're like, I didn't get all that. Will you repeat that? They're like, ooh, maybe I don't want
Oh,
to.
never mind. Never
I don't
mind.
know that I can do that again.
Never mind.
Yeah. You're gonna have
Yeah.
the opportunity to think about their words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and sometimes that's interesting, Jen, that you say that because if we do, hey, could you repeat that? Because I have said things that I'm like, as soon as it comes out of my mouth, I'm like,
Yeah,
It's
that's
like, let me just take it back.
I
you
didn't
know
I
what?
didn't that way. Yeah, yeah.
And and so yeah, if you ask them to repeat it, they could say, you know what? Never mind. I,
I,
as soon as I said it, I was like, I shouldn't have said that.
I
So
should have done that. Yeah. I'm sorry.
the way you say that though, you have to be real careful because tone is very important. And sometimes you'll be like, oh my gosh, I didn't catch all that. What did you say? And then
right, be
Oh,
curious. Yeah. Oh,
you're like do it in a way that you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't hear all that. I don't think I got all that. Will you let me, what do you mean by that? It's like
I think Jen's superpower really is curiosity.
it is. It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
I've
love
been
it.
a why girl since I think I came out of the womb.
Uh,
Why?
So good.
My parents probably were like, so
yeah, I got you. Well, it's going to be a good Thanksgiving. We'll record again next week, so there might be something else before Thanksgiving. But if not, I hope that the tools that are presented will help you as you move into any kind of a difficult situation, so your day can just be lovely. Absolutely lovely. Hey, do I understand correctly that we put Brene Brown's book Grounded off till the first of the year?
No, we've been reading it. Strong Ground. Yeah, Strong
Tell me
Ground.
about it. Strong Ground. Yeah.
It's
Sorry.
it's there's so much in it, and it's very there's a lot of clinical stuff, and so it's going to probably take us through December
It's
because
going to be a good long read then.
yeah, there's a lot to digest, and there's a lot of discussion that we're saying, okay, well, what do you think she meant here?
Okay.
I understood it like this, and that's the beauty of book club is we get to come together and have discussions and say, well, this is how I understood it. Is so yeah, it's good. We actually only got through chapter 5 last week, so we're just
Well, that's good to go
plugging
slow.
along.
It's not like we have to hurry, right? It's a rich book, I'm sure.
yeah, I think on some books it is really important to go a little bit slower to absorb everything.
Yeah, there's a lot there. Yeah.
You said through chapter 5.
Yeah, we're gonna try to get through chapter 7 this week.
7 for this week.
We'll
All right.
see. We'll see how we do. Yeah.
Once again, book club is when? Wednesday? Oh,
Thursday.
Thursday.
Thursdays, yeah.
Thursday at
Thursday.
1:30 Central.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
And then we have something really fun coming December 11th.
Mm-hmm.
We just had that great What's Your Word workshop with Jen, and I am just on fire with my new word. I'm having so much fun with it. I honestly took my blossom ring off because blossom was my ring for my word for the year, and I lost it this week. I think it's
No,
a sign I don't have to do it anymore.
You
you
did
didn't
not
love
want
that word, so yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it fell in the couch cushions or what. I have to keep looking for it, but it just like disappeared. But
Mm,
we had that great What's Your Word? And I hope you guys are all working and developing, your word as you approach the beginning of the year. But to help that, Jacine's doing a workshop on the 11th. It's a Thursday afternoon, 2 p.m. Central. And she's going to do a year-end review. And it's not cut and dry. I got to tell you, I've done it a lot of times, and it's a really powerful class. You want to speak to it a little bit, Jacine, and kind of give a thumbnail?
yeah, so I'll just this I'll just give you a statement by John Maxwell.
Ooh,
So his statement is, what I value is what I find time for.
I love
And then the other statement that we'll talk about is reflection turns experience into insight.
what
So
it. I
that's really
like that.
it in a nutshell. You know, what I value is what I find time for, and then reflection. That reflection is so important. So this is a time when we can come together and you will have a set amount of time to work on that reflection. And we'll ask some really important questions that help you to start spinning the wheels so that you can think about your year and you can think about, am I in line? Are my values, are what I'm doing in line with what my values are my
Oh,
actions,
so good.
my values. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing. Yeah.
Going to be so good. December 11th at 2 on our
Mhm.
regular Zoom link. And if you want to register, you can find the registration link at the bottom of every email we send out.
Mhm.
And we would love to see you, and we would love to have you, and come start your 2026 on the right foot with what you value, with what really matters to you. Well, thank you guys for coming and talking about inner critic. I will no longer talk about her as a mean girl.
be nice.
I will be nice, and I will eventually thank her for protecting me and We let her have time to go off and play because I'm sure she's a young self, or
Mhm.
whatever it is that maybe she wants to go put makeup on or something. I don't know. I'll have to have a conversation. But yeah, thanks for coming. Next week, we'll talk a little bit more about how to confidently approach our group situations and how to work with other parts in our personality. And we'll just keep going all the way through this holiday until we come out the other side perfect or better than we are today. One or the
Yeah.
other. Yeah. So thanks, y'all. We'll see you soon.
See you
Bye.
guys. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
I can choose to be happy, choose to be free, moment by moment. It's all up to me, 'cause what I think about, I bring about. That's the way it is, and there is no doubt. Day by day, I pave the way with every little thought I think.
Hey, thanks for joining us today in A Creator-Based Life. I hope you felt that compassion, mindfulness, and hope you came seeking today. You can find more of it at cmhcoaching.com or on linktree/cmhcoaching. Of course, any social media outlet, we're there too. Because you felt the benefit and light in this message, please invite those you care deeply about to join us. Help us to create a ripple effect across the globe of compassion, mindfulness, and hope. Then we can create a creator-based life together. Have a great week, y'all. We'll talk to you soon.
I just fill my mind with gratitude. I give thanks for everything, with every little thought I think. I can choose to be happy, choose to be free, moment by moment. It's all up to me, 'cause what I think